This is a 2003 Honda Shadow that I picked up for only $550 on Facebook Marketplace. Today, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how you could pick up bikes like this for super cheap and make a huge profit. Not only that, I'm gonna show you how I fixed this bike from a non-runner to a running motorcycle. I did bang my head pretty hard in the process. I'm also gonna show you guys how to ride a motorcycle. Now, the reason I'm gonna teach you how to ride a motorcycle is because when you get bikes like this, I want you guys to know how to ride them so you can load them on your trailer and you can start flipping motorcycles. It's super easy. I'm gonna teach you guys how to flip bikes and ride motorcycles so you can get money. So let's talk about how I was able to get this motorcycle for so cheap. Now, when you're flipping cars, motorcycles, whatever it is, you wanna be the first one on Facebook Marketplace to respond to the ad. There are thousands of wolves in your area asking, is it available? Is it available? And you can sit there all day scrolling through Facebook and you probably won't be the first one to respond to the ad because you won't catch it in time. And this is exactly why I use the Swooper app, guys. Now, not only is Swooper a sponsor of this video, but I actually use it and I actually get deals by using it, guys. You see, what Swooper is, it has an AI technology that instantly sends you notification as soon as somebody in your area lists a motorcycle, a car, and this specific motorcycle happened to be only 20 miles from my home. I received the notification. Instantly, it popped up on my phone like it was a text message. I clicked on it, looked at it, saw that the motorcycle was about $1,000. I didn't ask, is it available? I asked the guy, can I come see it right now? And we had negotiated in person. So I was able to get to him first before anybody even messaged him within the first 30 seconds. And this is how I've been getting all my deals from Facebook. You can set up the price range and you can use it on Facebook, Craigslist, OfferUp, you name it. And you'll automatically get notifications right to your phone instead of searching around on the computer or on your phone all day. Click the link below this video and check out the Swooper app. You won't regret it. Okay, now that we got our motorcycle home, let's go over it and see the things that are wrong with it. I got such a great deal on this motorcycle, and it is bike season, guys. And for you guys out there that want to learn how to flip cars, I would say if you should start off by flipping motorcycles. That's how I got my start with flipping cars, just flipping motorcycles because I got love for it. Let's go over this bike and see the things that are wrong with it. This thing is in amazing shape. The chrome looks good. It's not pitted, not rusting. It looks really, really good. One of the bonuses that came with this motorcycle is that it has an amazing seat on it. This is called a carbon seat, and these things are pretty expensive. And you can see it rides too. You got two up. You got a backrest for the front and a backrest for the back. It also came with the passenger Cobra footrest, one on each side. This doesn't come stock. The seller also gave me two bags that go on the back of the bike. So you have to take this seat off and install these in the back. That's always a bonus when it comes time to motorcycles because people like having that storage. But to be honest, I'll probably sell these separate because you can get more money for these on eBay. When I used to flip motorcycles, I would always sell these separately because you get more money. When you sell it with the bike, people probably don't care. Probably sell these on eBay for maybe like $250, $200, and that'll add to the price of the motorcycle itself. So this 2003 Honda Shadow pretty much has 16,895 miles, which isn't bad for a motorcycle that is over 20 years old. So I did get this motorcycle from an older gentleman that pretty much wanted to stop riding motorcycles, period. He felt like he was getting too old, even though I feel like you can never get too old for riding motorcycles. So this thing was sitting around for a little bit. Let's start it up and see what's going on. Put our key in, turn it. As I said, I'm gonna teach you guys how to ride a motorcycle because if you're gonna start flipping motorcycles and you're just starting out, I want you guys to know how to load this thing on your trailer so you can ride it home. So the first thing you wanna do is pull in the clutch, pull up your kickstand, and you wanna hit this button right here. It's off and on. This is how you shut it off and on. You hit that on, and this is your starter right here. And you can see that the motorcycle is not turning right on. It's because these motorcycles have a choke. And in order to get this motorcycle to start, you have to pull out that choke. The choke is located right between the engine block. You pull it out. Now, pull in your clutch, start the bike. Now you can see the bike is riding with the choke out. I wanna make sure it's in neutral before I let go of my clutch. So I got the bike in neutral. put down my kickstand, the bike is on. Now, when it comes time to these older bikes and it's really cold outside or early spring in New York and on the East Coast, you need a choke. You pull that choke out and that pretty much warms up the bike, and then you're able to push the choke in and the bike should stay on. But right now it's about 70 degrees out here in New York. I shouldn't have to use the choke to start the bike. So what's happening with this bike is when I push in the choke, the bike shuts off. You can see we have no power to the bike. That should not be happening. The bike should be able to run with no choke. And the problem is we have a carburetor here located in between the engine block under the gas tank, and that thing is clogged up. And the reason it's clogged up is because this bike has been sitting around too long. As you can see, this bike hasn't been inspected since May of 2020, guys. This bike hasn't been inspected for 5 years. So that means this older gentleman has not been riding this bike for the last 5 years, and it's been sitting in his garage. So what that tells me is that our carburetor is pretty much clogged up. That means the jets in the carburetor, the gas pretty much turned into gum, and it pretty much clogged up the carburetor. And today we're gonna have to clean this carburetor, and I'm gonna show you guys how you can pick up bikes like this for super cheap with bad carburetors that have been sitting around for years and pretty much make a massive profit. Let's go ahead and get this carburetor cleaned. So I started off by removing the seat, and then we had to go ahead and take off that gas tank. Really not that much of a task, but just make sure that you have a rag available because the gas is pretty much going to fall all over the place when you remove this tube that you see right here. You want to make sure that you keep everything clean. Next, we move the speedometer, and we had to get that gas tank off of that bike so we can remove that carburetor. Now, when you remove your gas tank, make sure you put it in a safe place away from everything because you don't want to dent this thing. Very important. Okay, this filter looks really good. It looks like it's almost brand new. You can see it's pure orange inside there. Here are the hoses to your gas tank. You had this one that pretty much puts the gas into the, the bike and the engine. And then you have this one for air. Okay, so this is gonna go in the bottom of the gas tank. And then right here, you saw me take this off. This was connected to your speedometer. Okay, now that I removed this piece, as you can see, one of these hoses from the air box connects to the top of the carburetor, and there's a second one on the other side because this is a dual carburetor. So this side came out, it's supposed to go inside here. On the other side looks the same as this. You have air from the air box going into both sides of the carburetor. One on this side and one on that side. Now you can see our carburetor is way more exposed, and we can start to get this thing out of here. Coming along to this side of the bike, I'm gonna turn my handlebars all the way to the right side of the bike, and this is gonna expose this way more, but you gotta be careful. Make sure that you don't tip this bike over. We have these cables right here that are connected to your clutch. We just wanna loosen this up right here so that we can remove these cables from the carburetor. When I loosen these cables, I wanna count how many turns I did for each of them, because when I go to put this back on later on after we clean our carburetor, if I take too many turns and I don't know where I have them at, cable's gonna be loose. I don't want any of that. So pretty much I'm gonna take my 10 and I'm gonna loosen it, and I'm just gonna count how many turns I did. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we have 2 screws on this bracket. I'm gonna remove the bracket so I can have some space to pretty much unhook these things off right here. It's like a bicycle cable, kind of when you do your brakes on your bicycle. I don't know if you guys ever worked on a bicycle, but you wanna loosen it up, release the tension, and remove these. Now, I know I said clutch cables earlier, I apologize. It's really a throttle cable. You can see we got that one out. Let's go for the top. We got this one out as well. We're gonna let that hang right here. Now we got our throttle cable. Check out the throttle while we move it. So right in here, we got a couple screws on each side, which connects the carburetor into the engine block. So we got one on this side. I don't know if you guys can see that. And we have another on the other side. And then that should release the carburetor from the middle, and we should be able to take this thing out. Okay, we got it out. Bit of a struggle, but let me show you the inside. So here are our engine blocks. Our carburetor was connected here. There's a rubber piece here and a rubber piece that was here to hold in the carburetor. You're gonna have to remove this one in order to get the carburetor out. You see the hoses that were connected to the carburetor are still here. And here is our carburetor. You can see it's a dual carburetor. We got one on this side, pretty much leaking gas. And we have one on this side. right here. Let's go ahead and clean this thing. Okay, so we got the carburetor here inside of like a metal pan that you'll cook in, the regular cooking pan, baking pan. And the parts that we want to concentrate is on this part right here and on this part right here. This is where our jets are located, and that's what we want to clean. These other parts are usually like for the air pressure and stuff like that. They look pretty good. So to clean out the parts, we're going to use the carb part cleaner. And then to clean the actual jets, we're going to be using these little like brushes. So when removing these screws, be very careful. They get messed up pretty fast and you don't want to mess that up. You could buy a whole new kit to pretty much rebuild it, but this one looked pretty good. You see these rubber seals right here? You want to make sure that those are good because you'll put your carburetor back and then they will pretty much leak if that rubber seal isn't good. So we're going to remove these jets, and we're going to talk a little bit about why you want to remove these jets and why you want to clean them. So what these little holes are the holes in the jets, and those could be clogged up. They may not look clogged up, but they can be clogged up. And this is what we want to clean and get all of that gunk from these holes, from the old gas. So it's pretty much super simple, guys. You remove that carburetor, you take out all of your jets, and you make sure that they're clean. You see these holes? They're very, very tiny. So what I'm using is pretty much the brush to clean them and to make sure that they are nice and, cleared out, those holes. Now this is a bowl, a float bowl. You want to make sure that that thing is clean as well so that it's nice and bouncy, not just like laying down, because that will kind of mess it up. Here's another part of that jet. So I'm taking my carburetor cleaner and I'm just spraying it down the holes and just making sure that everything is nice and clean, guys. The carburetor cleaner is really going to clean it out. Got my brush right here and just, making sure that I'm scraping those holes. I also make sure that I spray my carburetor cleaner through that as well. And I also have kind of like a safety pin, little pin thing that I'm pushing into the holes and just making sure that they're all clear, making sure that there's no gunk. Now when gas sits in a carburetor for a very long time, it pretty much turns, I want to say like gunky, it just pretty much clogs up the jets and just makes this thing turn off and not run correctly. So it's a pretty simple process. You can see me looking up at the little holes. I want to make sure that I see light through there. So I put the little jet into the sun and look through the holes. And let's pretty much put this thing back together and go ahead and get it right back on the bike, guys. Okay, let's get this thing back in the motorcycle. You got to kind of work it in there as smoothly as possible. It's just a little tough to get in there. And we got it. So make sure that you take pictures of everything that you did with the motorcycle or a video so that you can know how to put it back together, because a lot of these hoses on this bike can be confusing when you go ahead and put everything back together. So make sure that you document exactly what you did with whatever motorcycle that you are working on. Now, always go for these Honda Shadows because I understand how to work on them, because when I first started flipping anything, these are what I started with, and I know the bike like the back of my hand. So just make sure that you document everything so you can get it right. Okay, so we got everything on the bike, and of course it starts to rain on me. So this bike is totally wet now. I'm gonna try to get this thing started. So we have to turn on the fuel. We're gonna put it into the on position. Let's go ahead and put this key in there, turn it on. Now we're gonna have to shake this up a little bit for it to get started because all the gas is not in the line. So we're gonna have to shake this bike, try to get the gas in the line. And of course I get rained on. So we're gonna move this gas tank around, just trying to get that gas into that carburetor, and hopefully she starts up. Uh-oh, let's pull out the choke, continue to shake it so that gas can move into that carburetor. So it looks like we got her running. beautifully. So it's been a success, guys. The last thing we're gonna do is go ahead and change out the oil. I do have an oil filter and I have 3 quarts of oil. This bike calls for 2.5 quarts. And the crazy part is the guy gave me the oil and the oil filter. He never had a chance to do them. And he said, you can take this along with the bike. So that's even better. I didn't have to come out of my pocket for this stuff. This is usually about 50 bucks on Amazon, eBay, wherever you're at. So as you can see, our oil filter is located right here. And the bolt to change our oil is located right here. Got my oil pan here. Let's go ahead and remove this filter. Okay, we took out that filter first. Let's go ahead and slap that new one in. I'm gonna use a little bit of oil from the other one to put on a rubber gasket over here. And you just wanna tighten it by hand. Okay, now I'm gonna take my wrench, loosen up that screw, and release that oil. Got it. All right, guys, I was just getting up. I banged my head right here. You can see that red mark, so if you guys see that red mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this screw back in and we're gonna put the oil inside. Look at that, guys. This is really fun. That's why I flip cars for fun. Look at that, look at that. How fun is that? Knocked my head on this thing. I went to get up and just hit my head right in the corner of this thing right here. I don't know how I did that, but hit the corner of that. All right, now that we got that oil changed, let's start it up and get that oil flowing through the system. Our kickstand up. All right. So as promised, now that we got this carbs running, now that we have the oil change, I'm gonna show you guys how to ride this motorcycle. So riding a motorcycle is fairly simple. So the first thing you always gotta remember is you have a clutch lever right here on this side, on your left, and then on your right, you have a brake lever. You have a brake lever on this side. Right here, you have your throttle. This is your throttle, okay? Now the reason why a lot of people get scared is because they think they're gonna hit the throttle and fly straight into the wall. That's where the fear comes from. If you pay attention, the clutch is really mostly the power. The throttle isn't the power. Yeah, it's the power. It brings the power to the bike and makes it go. But when this clutch is engaged, that's when the bike goes. So I'm gonna start it up and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So we're gonna start it up. All right, so I got my clutch pulled in. I got my bike on neutral. Now over here, you have your gear shifter. This is your gear shifter. Usually with step on it, and then you go 1 up for second gear, third gear, and fourth gear. But this particular bike has a rear one. I don't really like these too much, but they can be used. So in this case, we're gonna go 1 down and then we're gonna kick the back to go up. So usually again, it will be 1 down and then 3 up or 4, whatever gears you have. But in this case, we're gonna be stepping on the back in order to get it right. So I'm gonna go ahead and step on it, put it in first. That put the bike in first, all right? I'm gonna put it back in neutral to step on it, and I'm gonna put it back in first. Okay, that's first gear. So right now, if I let go of this lever, this is the clutch. If I let go of it and I hit the throttle, the bike will go. So in reality, what I would do is when you're first starting out is you would hit this throttle, right? And you slowly, look, I'm going super fast on here. Super fast on the bike, and you slowly let go of this, and now look how the bike is not really going nowhere until I give it power, till I let that go, okay? So what people do is they concentrate on this, they hit it hard, and they let go of the lever, and the bike just goes, and then they fall back, and then they pull this, and then they're just like, oh my God, and they go into a wall. To stop that, you literally just pull this in, and you're straight. Okay, I'm gonna go back to first. So what people do is they go, oh my God, but they don't pay attention to this. Pay attention to the clutch, to the throttle cable, and you won't go anywhere. This is the real power, okay? So I'm gonna show you what happens when you let go of the clutch. Some people just let go of the clutch. There's no throttle on there, bike stalls out. That's why a lot of people can't get started. They get scared, they don't hit the throttle, they don't hit this, they don't hit your throttle, and they just let go of it. Look, and they jump and they get scared. Oh my God, it's the worst thing that ever happened to me. I'm gonna start it up again. I'm gonna hit this, but I'm not worrying because I can't go nowhere unless I let go of this. See that? See how smooth I can just let it go? There's really nothing to be scared of as long as you're in control. As long as you control your clutch cable. That's the main thing. So forget about this, guys. I'm gonna show you guys the ride live right now. Let's check it out. Okay, same process here. We pulled in our clutch cable. We stepped on that and put it in first gear. We blipped the throttle, and then we slowly start to let go of that clutch cable, guys. And you can see that the motorcycle is moving nice and slow. Now you can do this faster, of course, but I want to do it slow for you guys. And that's pretty much it, guys. From here, you would pull in the clutch and then kick down on the lever, and you would go into second gear, and so on and so on. Riding a motorcycle is pretty easy, and I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you didn't learn a lot, I hope you learned a little. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Going up the hill now, pulling the clutch, hit that throttle, let it go slow, and our bike starts to move. Just don't panic. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There's going to be another video that's going to pop up on the screen. You guys can check that out if you like my flipping videos with flipping cars and everything. And if you guys haven't signed up for the free Honda Civic giveaway, I'm not sure what you're doing. We're giving away a free Civic on this channel as soon as we hit 20K subscribers, guys. Can you believe that? We're almost at 20K, and we'll be giving away a free Honda Civic, no strings attached. Just go to the website flippingcarsforfun.com and sign up. It's pretty easy. This bike went for $2,800 to a friend. I went ahead and paid $550 for the bike, guys. That's bringing us to a grand total of $2,250, guys. What a massive profit. Just learn how to clean carbs, learn how to flip these bikes, and flip these cars. I will talk to you guys soon. Again, Jay here from Flipping Cars for Fun.